Can a bank file an insolvency case 5 years after an account becomes NPA? Isn't that clearly barred by limitation? Or can one simple document, a revival letter, completely change the legal position? Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This presentation is brought to you by Synergy Business Advisors Noida, your trusted business mitra. Today we decode a very important NCLT judgment involving National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited versus Helios Photovoltaic Limited. Background of the case: under Article 137 of the Limitation Act or Section 7, IBC application must be filed within 3 years from the date of default. In this case, the loan account was declared NPA on 31st March 2013. So normally the limitation period would expire on 31st of March 2016. However, the Section 7 application was filed in Feb 2018, which is more than 3 years from the NPA date. Therefore, the corporate debtor argued that the case was time barred. They relied on Supreme Court judgment in BK Educational Services Private Limited versus Parag Gupta and Associates, where it was held that the Limitation Act applies to IBC proceedings. According to them, since more than 3 years had passed from the date of default, the petition should not be admitted. The main legal issue in this case was whether the insolvency application was filed within the limitation period. Under Article 137 of the Limitation Act, a Section 7 application under the IBC must be filed within 3 years from the date of default. In this case, the loan account of Helios Photovoltaic Limited was declared NPA on 31st of March 2013. So, normally the limitation period would have ended on 31st of March 2016. However, the financial creditor filed the application under Section 7 in Feb 2018, which at first glance looked time barred. The corporate debtor strongly objected to this and relied on the Supreme Court judgment in BK Educational Services Private Limited versus Parag Gupta and Associates, where the court held that the Limitation Act applies to IBC proceedings. Based on this, the corporate debtor argued that since more than 3 years had passed from the NPA date, the petition should not have been admitted. What saved the financial creditor? Under Section 18 of the Limitation Act, if a debtor acknowledges the debt in writing before limitation expires, a fresh 3 years period begins. The loan account became NPA on 31st of March 2013. From this date, the limitation period of 3 years started running. So originally the limitation would have expired on 31st of March 2016. However, before the original limitation period ended, the borrower signed a revival letter on 17th of December 2015. A revival letter acts as an acknowledgement of the debt under the Limitation Act. Because of this acknowledgement, a fresh limitation period of 3 years started from 17th of December 2015. This means the limitation period would now expire on 16th of December 2018. The application under Section 7 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 was filed on 14th of Feb 2018, which is clearly within the fresh limitation period. So, legally, the petition was filed within time. There was no violation of limitation law. Tribunal's view: the tribunal explained that once it is satisfied that a financial debt exists and the company has defaulted in repayment, it has very little choice but to admit the application. In this case, the loan documents clearly showed that money was borrowed and the company failed to repay it. The limitation issue was also settled because the revival letter validly extended the limitation period. The tribunal relied on Supreme Court judgment in Innovative Industries Limited versus ICICI Bank, which clearly states that if debt and defaults are proved, the application must be admitted. Accordingly, the NCLT admitted the petition, started the corporate insolvency resolution process, imposed a moratorium under Section 14, and appointed an interim resolution professional to take control of the company's management. This is CIP Praveen Agrawal thanking you for watching. I hope this presentation will be helpful. Please subscribe to the channel for more such business related videos. Thank you.